In this video, we're going to talk about how you find the equation of a line if you're given the graph of the line. And you can see I put up kind of the two best versions to use for this. This, of course, is slope-intercept form where we have the slope and we can easily isolate the intercept. I think there's one of these that's going to be very easy. And then we also have point slope where we can figure out the slope from the picture, and we also have a point that we can isolate. I tend to think that this, especially once you're in algebra and geometry, algebra 2 or higher, that this is the version you should be looking at, because that way you don't need the y-intercept. And if you're, and I purposely put this green line kind of out here in the first quadrant where it's not intersecting, so you don't need that. Okay, but let's start with the blue line because that, I think, lends itself to the first equation. Here, you can see that the y-intercept is 1. Okay, so that's this term, that's b. Because remember, the y-intercept is what you get when x is 0. So, m times 0 is 0 plus b, so b has to be 1. So right away, we can say, all right, we've got a y equals, and we've got, something times x. I'll just put a plus 1 at the end. And now, of course, we need to calculate the slope. So thinking about slope, of course, you could say, well, it's the difference in y's over the difference in x's, or you could think it's the rise divided by the run. Since we have the picture, I'm gonna choose to kind of use that to my advantage. I'm not going to use the formula where I pick out 2 points. So instead, I'm going to say, all right, well, thinking about rise, this thing went down 2 units and over 1. So the slope would be, minus 2 divided by 1, which of course is just negative 2. So that's my slope. That's what gets multiplied by the x. So there is the equation of the blue line. Again, I used slope-intercept there because it was easy to identify the intercept. It was right on the picture. In fact, I even put a little dot there. So that, to me, was the correct and easiest to use. Let's go to the red line next. So in this case, the y-intercept looks like it's, over 2. It's 2 point something, but I would have to make some kind of guess there. I don't really want to do that. So instead, I'm going to look for 2 spots where it actually intersects and in a nice full whole number coordinate. So you can see here it goes through the point. I'm going to make a little note here. It goes through the point 1, 3, and it also goes through the point 3, 4. And I certainly could now, use the formula for that. But instead, I think I'm going to continue to just use the picture to my advantage and say it went up 1 and over 2. So the slope is 1/2. Rise was 1 over 2. So let's pick one of those points. I'm going to choose the first point, 1, 3. So the y-coordinate was, part of the coordinate was 3, so we're going to have y minus 3 equals, we calculate our slope to be 1/2, and that's going to be x minus the x-coordinate, which was 1. And see, I would be done right there. I would say we have the equation of the line. If you're someone that you would like to actually clean this up and have a y equals, it's easy enough to do. You just distribute the 1/2, and then you could add the 3 to the other side, and we could get a common denominator of 2, so it would be negative 1/2 plus like 6 halves, so plus 5 halves, like that. And, maybe my drawing was a little bit off, but you can see 5 halves is 2.5, so yeah. Again, I would just stop right here. That's the equation of the line. But if you want it in slope-intercept form, you just got to do the algebra, distribute the slope into the parentheses, and then bring that y piece of the coordinate over. All right, let's do the green line to finish with. And again, I put this kind of out in the first quadrant, so we don't need the y-intercept. I'm just going to list the coordinates. We've got 3, 2, and we've got 6, 1. So let's just calculate our slope here. We went down 1 and over 3. So my slope is going to be negative 1/3. Make sure you got that negative, okay? So I'm going to, again, just pick the first point. There's nothing special. You could have picked either point. So I could pick 3, 2, or I could pick 6, 1. So I'm going to start by saying y minus the y part of this, which was 2, equals, we calculated the slope to be negative 1/3, and then x minus the x part of it, which was 3. Now, just below this, and I could have done this on the other one as well, but let me just say we could have used the other point. And the reason that works, if I use the other one, is once you distribute this in, the negative 1/3, and then add the 2 to the other side, and distribute the negative 1/3 in and add the 1 to the other side, you're going to get exactly the same thing. It's exactly the same line. So either one of those works. It doesn't matter which point you pick. And again, I tend to think that this form right here is the better form for kind of higher level math because it doesn't require you to have to get that y-intercept, but you can easily calculate it from that form. If it's important to you to have it, it's easy to get with a little bit of algebra. All right, thanks. If this helped you, please like and subscribe for more math help. I have an entire playlist on geometry. Have a great day. Really enjoy it.